Hello, welcome to the part three of my Marvel ranking list, the best of Marvel movies. This is the final part. I'm not going to show you the video cases as I go along because on the last video I noticed that the lighting was so bad that you couldn't see them clearly. So I'll wait till the end of after I've talked about some movies. I'll wait till the end and I'll show you the whole list after adjusting the screen slightly. I'll begin now. There's a close relationship between the Marvel films and science fiction. The science, or the pseudoscience concepts, are interesting and well researched or realized. In the Thor movies, the mythical hero of the gods, Asgard, is essentially another planet, but is not a globe like the Earth. It is a city with surrounding countryside features, water, trees, and even mountains. There is a futuristic technology which overlaps with the magical elements. For example, the Bifrost. The Rainbow Bridge, which exists between Asgard and Midgard, or the Earth, is activated by a machine. The whole country of Asgard is on a flat rock suspended in the firmament. The science fiction magical realm is central to the stories of the MCU, as the entire universe proves to be a technologically advanced magical world populated by many races, some hostile to mankind and to the Asgardians, and the rest somewhat indifferent. The Guardians of the Galaxy films inhabit this world. There are wormholes, super spaceships, and controlling interfaces, strange powerful weapons, and all manner of odd creatures. Broadly human, talking animals, typical sci-fi creatures, all intelligent and in all shapes and sizes. These two, the second, sorry, I'm going back to the second and third Thor movies, are sci-fi epics of multiple iteration of these concepts or settings. Thor the Dark World and Thor Ragnarok take on a stellar journey with this everyman character Thor, who is also a god from Asgard. Dark Elves takes on Dark Elves from the beginning of time with his brother Loki, a character who sometimes is Thor's rival and sometimes his ally. And the story then goes on to Ragnarok, the remote home of the Grand Master, played by Jeff Goldblum, an all-powerful egotist, where Thor meets the Hulk, who has been abducted from the Earth to fight in a gladiatorial arena. He befriends the Hulk after a fight with him. Then Thor, the Hulk, a new character called Valkyrie, a reference to the flying women of Norse legend, and Loki battle to save Asgard from Hela, Thor's half-sister. Ragnarok in the Poetic Edda is the doom of the gods, often interpreted as meaning the end of the world, an apocalyptic event. The penultimate story in the MCU storyline is told in the film The Infinity War. The Avengers and their allies fight to defeat Thanos, but fail. Unlike fairy stories, there is not a happy ending, and the fantastical event, defying the expected science fiction tropes of redemption, occurs. half the population of the universe is wiped out, including many of the superheroes. This is a central event in the interconnected fictional world of the Marvel movies. In Endgame, however, a full 5 years after Thanos' victory, the remaining characters develop time travel and use it to collect the 6 Infinity Stones from the past. The adventures are interesting and gripping as they see previous events already experienced and meet sometimes early iterations of themselves and even deceased relatives. The theme of the time travel theme raises questions of the possibility of altering the past and hence affecting the present. The Thanos of the past discovers the plot to restore the population and travels into the present to once again attack the heroes. But at the end, Tony Stark, with the Infinity Stones, uses the Infinity Stones to undo Thanos' work, restore the population, and banish Thanos and his hordes at the cost of losing his own life. The death and the funeral of Tony Stark is a moving and emotional episode. The second and third Spider-Man movies, Far From Home and No Way Home, are expansions of the original superhero movie format. In the first, the CGI and blue screen technology, I think it's called, was it yellow screen? Blue screen or yellow screen technology is exploited to an unprecedented extent in creating the wonderful science fiction of Mysterio's holographic exploits. In No Way Home, the world is introduced to the concept of the multiverse. Or parallel Earths. Peter Parker meets not only supervillains from other Earths, but other versions of himself, all played by the actors from the much earlier Sony movies, thus tying in, as it were, the events in those movies into the MCU. With this film, the audience is able to identify with 3 Spider-Men, 3 Peter Parkers. The last film on my list is Black Panther: Wakanda, a seamless science fiction adventure movie. The advanced technology of Wakanda represents the personal resources of the typical, more primitive African tribes of the real world in this great film for racial toleration, or Black Lives Matter film to use recent terminology. The superhero action is provided by the Wakandan princess inheriting the superpowers of the Black Panther, and the introduction of the Submariner. Namor the Submariner was the original undersea king in the comic books prior to DC's invention of the Aquaman, and has been a favourite character throughout the history of Marvel Comics. In this movie, his dignity, which he maintains, is helped by a remastering. The action scenes with Namor are breathtaking as he takes to the seas and the skies battling against perceived enemies. I apologise for the films not included in my best of listing. I've watched them, but they didn't meet my criteria for true classics. I can recommend, however, one that I've seen recently at the theatre, the most recent film, Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. A classic movie, but for fear of making spoilers, I won't talk about that one. So that's it. That's the end of my listing of classic Marvel movies. Excuse me. And now I will show you the video cases. I hope I've got the lighting right this time. Right, start at the beginning. The 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. That's the VHS. That's number 3. I've got 2 as well in VHS in a cupboard somewhere. Two Iron Man movies. That's the first one. The Incredible Hulk. Captain America, the First Avenger. Thor. The Mighty Thor. The Legendary God. And one of the climactic stories, The Avengers, or Avengers Assemble. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, one of my very favourites, personal favourite. The Wolverine, another great, wonderful film, another favourite. X-Men Days of Future Past, if you pan the stickers. The first reboot Spider-Man movie, or the new Spider-Man of the MCU. Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. The 2 Guardians of the Galaxy films. Difficult to line them up when you've got 2 in your hands. Do it one at a time. Guardians of the Galaxy films. That's one. And that's another. Doctor Strange. Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson. Thor: The Dark World. And Thor: Ragnarok, which leads into the Infinity War saga. Avengers: Infinity War. 3-hour film. Avengers Endgame, another 3-hour film. The second new Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. The third, No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, the beginnings of multiverse stories, parallel Earths, or parallel universes. And last but not least, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or the Submariner film. That's in the title, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Big mention to the recent Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Right, thank you for watching these videos. I don't think everyone's watched them yet, but this is Showing Green. This is a music arts ranking video, and I'll say good night. It's raining outside and the rain is drumming on the plastic trash cans like Ginger Baker.